I don't know how to start this without trembling. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to chase fame. I'm here because something must be remembered. A song, a voice, a fire, a woman, my grandmother. My name is Emil. I come from a place most of you have never heard of, tucked in the far corners of mountains, where time moves slowly and stories are passed from mouth to mouth, not screen to screen. I was born in a village that no longer exists, a village that once breathed with the sounds of prayer, wind in the wheat, laughter between the trees, and songs that echoed like lullabies from one hut to another. We were simple people, untouched by the rush of cities or the greed of modern power. And then they came. I was only 8 years old when the fire came. I remember it because that morning my grandmother, Adela, had braided my hair and taught me a melody on her old violin. She said, "This is not just music, Emil. This is our memory. If they ever try to erase us, let this speak for us." I didn't understand. I thought she meant someday I'd grow up and forget. I didn't know she was warning me of what was coming. That night, our skies turned orange. Our cattle screamed. Our elders shouted. And the earth, I swear to you, the earth itself groaned. They came with guns, with fire, with hatred so sharp it cut through everything. They burned our fields. They shot those who ran. They laughed at our pain. I saw my mother fall. I saw my father run toward her and vanish in smoke. But I also saw my grandmother, standing in front of our hut, holding her violin like a shield. And I remember how, with the flames reflecting in her eyes, she played. She played the melody she taught me that morning. Not because it would stop the soldiers, not because it would bring back the dead, but because in that moment, she refused to let our story die quietly. She played until they dragged her away. She screamed, but her fingers kept moving. She screamed, but she didn't stop. And then, silence. Not because she stopped playing, but because the world stopped listening. They left our village in ashes. They left me buried under broken wooden prayer beads and my grandmother's scorched violin case. I survived. Somehow. Maybe because of her. Maybe because her song wanted someone to carry it forward. I was found by refugees, raised by silence. For years, I didn't speak. I didn't play. I didn't cry. I just remembered. At night, I'd dream of her fingers, wrinkled, strong, brown like the soil, moving across the strings. I'd hum the melody she taught me over and over, afraid I'd forget it, afraid if I forgot, then we were truly gone. When I turned 15, a kind woman in the camp gave me a broken violin. She said, "Maybe this will help you speak." It did. It taught me a new kind of voice, one that didn't need language to explain pain. A voice that cried when I couldn't. A voice that remembered the trees, the goats, the laughter, and my grandmother. That's why I'm here tonight. Not for myself, but for Adela, for my mother and father, for the kids who never learned to write their names, for the village whose name now only exists in my breath. They wanted to silence us, but her song survived. And when I play it, she is standing beside me, hair tied back, apron stained from feeding the poor, back hunched from lifting the world, eyes filled with eternity. Every time I hold this violin, I remember her hands. Every time I feel the wood press against my chin, I smell the smoke again. But I also feel her courage, her stubborn love, her defiance. They burned our roofs. They erased our records. But they couldn't erase her melody. That's the funny thing about music, isn't it? You can't shoot it, you can't burn it, you can't bury it, because it lives wherever someone dares to remember. I don't know what you'll see when I play. Maybe you'll see a refugee, maybe a broken boy with a tragic past, but I hope you'll see my grandmother. I hope you'll hear the fire in her song. I hope your heart breaks the way mine does every night when I remember her face vanishing behind the flames. And maybe, just maybe, for a moment, you'll feel the heartbeat of a village that refused to die quietly.